poker's legendary champions, next generation stars, and tireless ambassadors of the game, sharing their wisdom and guiding your journey to high achievement on the green felt. This is Chasing Poker Greatness with your host, Brad Wilson.
Well, hello there, my friend, and welcome to another episode of the Chasing Poker Greatness podcast. As always, this is your host, the founder of ChasingPokerGreatness.com, Coach Brad Wilson, and today's guest is a fan favorite, one of my personal friends, DGAF. He's the host of the podcast sessions where he details his day-to-day life on the grind, his third rise after going broke a couple of times. And we've had some good news in the third rise department because DGAF has been commenting on the Hustler live stream, which is a really great opportunity for him and his brand and his podcast, which is very, very exciting. He's also been playing some high stakes poker on the Hustler live stream, which, if you'll remember, a Tactical Tuesday, from a few weeks back, Jon and I discussed DGAF's, unmasking of himself on the Hustler live stream, which him and I are about to get into in this following conversation. We're also going to talk about G-Man. We're going to talk about DGAF's plans for the future of his podcast and his brand, what he's been getting up to in the world, and how his journey back into the arena of high-stakes poker has been going. So without any further ado, I welcome back a good, close personal friend of mine, a man that I've gone to war with many, many times on the green felt, the one and only DGAF. Yo, welcome DGAF / Billy, what I will refer to you moving forward because DGAF is so annoying to verbalize out loud. What's up, man? Welcome to the show.
What's happening, Brad? Good to be on again.
Yeah,
good to see your handsome face. I like to see it on Twitter, but it's even better on my laptop screen.
Thank you. On Twitter, most of my posts these days are my assistant Gwen, promoting the shows. I get kind of over Twitter like pretty quickly, just the whole poker Twitter gig.
It's rough, man.
Yeah.
I got to be on there a decent amount too. Well, I don't have an assistant. I'm not big time like you, but I think it's pretty well established, agreed upon that you're the most handsome face on Twitter, at least in poker Twitter.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. You've been showing your face out into the world more often as well. I want to talk about that because, as we said, you're out. People know what you look like. You've unmasked yourself. How's that coming?
It's been interesting. I still wear sunglasses. I'm still hanging on to my eyes. As I've said a bunch of times, in my content and in other interviews, I never had any ambition to be any sort of personality, celebrity, whatever you want to call it. I've always just been a poker player and a storyteller. That's where my heart is. Being very private and anonymous, and I love that. But it's kind of do anything you can to come up when you're 48 years old and you got 2 kids and your expenses are incredibly high in Southern California. It's kind of do whatever you can do and stop being so idealistic. That's how we got here.
Well, you built everything you've done. You built yourself up as the hero, right? In this journey, in this story. And
some people's minds,
or the anti-hero, or whatever it is.
A lot of haters, but yeah, there are a bunch of incredibly supportive people that would feel that way, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we make podcasts not so that we can have less listeners, even though we can be idealistic in the beginning and have the devil may care attitude, but at the end of the day, I think we would rather have more downloads than less downloads. And I can say that just with extreme confidence. In my case, at least, I want more rather than less. And yeah, I think it's really good for you to show your face, and also you have the opportunity with the Hustler live stream to really elevate your pod, your brand, just all the things that you're wanting to do. And to me, I assume that opportunity is just like too good to pass up.
Yeah, it's been a pretty huge bink in my life that Ryan Feldman left Live at the Bike, wanted to start something fresh with Nick Vertucci. And I don't remember the exact initial conversation. I don't know if I reached out to Ryan or Ryan reached out to me, but either way.
Did you guys know each other? I assume you had a previous relationship.
Yeah, we knew each other for probably 10 years in LA. I actually introduced him to Garrett. So I feel good about that I changed some of poker history by introducing the guy that makes the show and then the star of the show, which was at Live at the Bike and now is at Hustler. So I didn't have any experience commentating like everyone else. I thought I could be a great commentator because I know what's going on. I can think quickly. I can be funny when it's time to be funny. And it's much tougher than I thought it was going to be, but I'm still learning. And I got really lucky. I worked hard for 4 years is my story, is that I hit rock bottom in 2017 and then worked my ass off like as hard as I could and kind of wasn't really getting anywhere. I was Sisyphus just forever. And
you got to explain the Sisyphus. We can't just pull these out of nowhere. What's the tale of Sisyphus?
In a review. I probably said it wrong, but it's the guy trying to push
the rock.
Yeah, up a mountain and just never gets anywhere. And that was me for 4 years. I had a startup called Poker Eggs, which I still haven't made any money off of. It's profitable, but I'm just thinking long term with it. And I had a vlog for a while that I canceled, and I was always
you have a vlog without showing your face.
A blog. Fuck, a blog. My bad. A blog. I had a blog site, and I got rid of that. And I always wrote on 2+2. And then I had a mental health podcast, and none of these things were ever going to make me any money. And then I started Sessions, my poker/life podcast, and just kind of stuck with it. And then about a year in, hit a turning point where I got the feedback that do this. This is your shit. Do this. And still, I just grinded it so hard. And this year, everything's finally coming together. And a lot of it has been luck. Just staying alive and having a good opportunity come up with this amazing company, Hustler Casino Live, and with the Hustler as well. I actually work with both the High Stakes Poker Productions, which is Ryan Feldman, Nick Vertucci, and Patrick and all of them. I work for them, and I also am working for the Hustler as well. It's two different entities, and the GM of the Hustler, Sean Yapel, it's going to sound like I'm just saying this, but it's just the coolest person in the casino industry I've ever met, and just someone that believes in, like, you do something good for us, we'll do something good for you. And it's all going good right now.
I think anybody that is familiar with you or your story would feel pretty confident that you're not just someone that says things to say things.
Yeah, I can't like bullshit. If Sean Yapel is a dickhead, I wouldn't say that. You know what I mean? But he's just a genuine dude and a good businessman who gets it. That bringing in people that have a following and do have credibility and can attract players is valuable to them, and he'll take care of you. And same thing with Ryan and Nick. It's just been really fortunate for me. I have worked hard for 5 years or whatever, but first 4 I didn't really get anywhere, and now I'm starting to finally.
I think a lot of times, this is sort of how it works. Like, there's a quote that says we always overestimate what we can get done in 1 year and dramatically underestimate what we can get done in 10. And so persistence is just a key piece of the puzzle. And I mean, you're a likable guy and people root for you. And I think that you keep moving forward. Something was inevitably bound to happen, like good things. Could you tell me, because this is something I'm curious about. I've only commentated poker a couple of times, and it was during the, I think it was Doug Polk versus Daniel Negreanu challenge for Solve for Why, because apparently everybody that they knew had traveled out of country and they only had me available. And it ended about as unprofessionally as a commentating session can end, where basically they started at 5 p.m. Eastern, and I told them, hey guys, like, we're going to roll, but I take my edible at 8 and I'm asleep by 10. So like, if they go over, you get you get whatever you get. They did go over till about 9:30 apparently. So I was very, very high at the end of
you
the
got
last
a little goofy.
I got a little goofy. Yeah. But the first 3 hours, that was relatively okay. But it was a format that I'm pretty unfamiliar with. I'm not a heads up specialist by any stretch. Haven't put in much volume playing heads up. But like you, I do feel as if, I got the stuff to commentate like a full ring environment. And I know that I would certainly get humbled kind of straight away. What are some of the challenges that you faced that were unexpected with commenting on the Hustler stream?
So this is going to seem like we rehearsed this, but what you said is the biggest challenge. 3 hours, sure, but our shows are 5 hours or 6 hours, and you're sitting there in a booth by yourself looking at 2 different screens. Mostly you're by yourself. Sometimes you have a guest, but you start to get a little loopy after a while. You start to go to outer space. You're looking at a chat scroll that's going very fast on a screen that has the action on a 10-second delay. And then you're looking at the other screen, which you're commentating on. And it's just a long time to be focused on something without getting a little goofy. And I think people actually like it when towards the end of shows, when I just stop giving a shit and start being ridiculous. But it's different. What I'm commentating on is a reality television show. So it's not Doug Polk versus Daniel Negreanu heads up where everyone wants to know about each play. And they probably want it to be more serious. I don't know that people want me to be more serious. I believe some poker can be serious, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure, today. But I don't think most of it should be. And live cash, higher stakes should not be. And I think, So I had it easier than you. You were commenting on something very official, very serious in the poker world. I'm not. I'm commentating on guys who, just have different jobs and come there to gamble and have fun. And it's so the biggest challenge is staying focused for 5 hours. That would be the number one. The second one is I'm a sensitive person. I'm a sensitive boy inside. And just like my son is so sensitive, and it's just how I was, and I still am. The chat, the scroll, which you do need to read or peruse while you're calling the action, they can be so nasty. And people say, well, it's just internet trolls. You know that. It still gets me. I still have to fight off getting angry or sad or whatever. It might sound ridiculous, but that would probably be my second biggest obstacle.
Yeah, there's a human being behind a keyboard somewhere who's typing these awful things in the chat, and for some reason feel as if like it's an acceptable thing to do. So to me, like, most human beings would be feel sensitive to that sort of like, just awfulness, really, is what it is. And I assume like they're probably not even talking about you for the most part, right? Or
sometimes, sometimes they are, and sometimes they're just being super mean to any women that play. And And that's brutal. That's just like, yeah, that gets me as well. And even if they're just being mean to a dude, just being negative and toxic and all that shit, it's just rough, right? And you'll see the pros, like Dave Tuckman is a professional commentator. I don't think it hurts him. I think he just knows what it is, but he's been doing it for a long time, and he just goes right over it, laughs at it, and moves on. I aspire to be more like that. But yeah, it's just I've cut anyone negative, judgmental. I've cut all of them out of my life. I just had to. They were bad for me, and so as a commentator, I'm being reintroduced to people that can say like, "You suck. You're boring. You don't know shit.
Yeah.
Get Bart Hansen in here, whatever it is." and so
That's the one that hurts the most.
it doesn't. I mean, he's great, but it's like, what do I? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get him in. He doesn't even live in LA. So
No, don't take me away.
Are the two biggest obstacles: is staying focused, and then just the haters. But I don't. Other than that, like some of the tech stuff of forget if you're looking at the chat screen, you're on a delay of what you're commentating on. So sometimes I'm like, wow, I really like that squeeze there. And then I'll look over to the right screen and, oh shit, the flop's already out. And that person just flopped two pair. Like,
Yeah.
Because on the left screen, the flop doesn't come out. And it's just, going back and forth. Yeah, I guess that's about it. I really do love it. It's a brand new form of content for me. I've only done it about 2 months in total. And I still feel like I'm going to get to a point where I am really good at knowing what the game is, what my role is. Mostly my role is to let the table or the viewer feel like they're at the table, hear the table talk. I don't talk over it. I fill in the silence and call the action and just let people know he flopped double gutter, he flopped pair and gut shot, this guy flopped air, this guy's backdoors, whatever it is. So yeah, I think I will get there, hopefully sooner than later. And people tell me that I do well already. But one example I will say is past week, I think it was Tuesday night, I had Garrett Allenstein in the booth with me, and I know that's everyone's favorite poker player. And I go way back with him. And normally my job is to let the game breathe and let the viewers hear the player. I knew with this guy in the booth, it was to interview him for 5 hours basically and let him call action and stuff. And so I felt good about how I facilitated that. And I talked to the producers after and they're like, yeah, that's cool. Like normally we just want to hear the players, but obviously people wanted to hear Garrett. So I don't know. It's a learning experience. I love it. It's just brand new for me still.
Why do you think Garrett's everybody's favorite player? Just as like an aside, what is it about Garrett? You mentioned that you introduced Garrett to Feldman back in the day. I think like he just has a weird thing where like he's very noticeable, like in a room. He sits down at the table, but probably because he's like giant and muscly and would always buy in like 10x what everybody else was playing.
He is a super achiever in life, not just in poker, but in life. And a lot of people love that and respect it. And when it comes to playing poker that they've seen on stream, he is the best they've seen consistently. He has the most heart, which I think is what resonates with everyone, is this guy will just put the money in. And he's over the years learned the soft skills to get that action. You remember playing with him back in the day. He wasn't smooth and he didn't know how to dress and talk and all that and interact with the right players. But because he wanted to be a great poker player, live poker player, he had to learn all that stuff, which has nothing to do with Sims and all that.
Yeah, just like being a cool person. I mean, it takes you further than you would think in live poker specifically, because like the thing that you can have going for you that's greater than all the other things is that people just enjoy sitting down and playing cards with you. Like when you sit at the game, you can everybody at the table knows that you're a favorite and that you're going to be winning money at the end of the year, but they still are happy to see you there, right? Like that's the best skill that you can have as a live pro.
For sure. I remember when he came to LA, I knew he was good. I knew him from before. And I always loved when he sat in my game, despite knowing he's going to like be a nightmare to play, especially out of position. And you're just going to have to get money in a lot because just so funny and intelligent and quick wit. You could just, time will go by fast. It wouldn't be me talking to a bunch of people that aren't picking up on my sarcasm. And so he can do that with everyone. He interacts with this person this way. You'll hear not that he needs to entertain Julie Orn. She's someone who plays on the show as a producer. She's a winning player, but he has a way to interact with her, and they talk about movies and stuff. And so he finds interest in each player, and he really is the poster boy for live pro, I think. But I also don't think like people should try and model that. I don't think people can come up that way anymore. I think he's got his place, but I don't think you can play as hard as he does and get action consistently. And I know that's going to be controversial, especially talking to you. But one thing I love about our conversations is we have different philosophies, and neither of us really ever gets triggered by it.
Nah, not really. I mean, I do think people can. I think there will be people who take the same path eventually as Garrett and kind of follow the Garrett model. Whether or not they can, ride it to where Garrett is currently at, I think I don't know. But I do think he has, he's kind of forged that model, and I think people will follow in those footsteps eventually. It does take a specific type of person, though. It's the personality side of live poker is not a thing that a lot of the crushers can just turn on in an instant, right? They're just not made that way. I want to go back to the trolls for a moment, though, if we can segue away from Garrett for a minute.
Sure.
I think so. This is my personal opinion. And I know Tuck, very professional, way more professional. I mean, Tuck would have never gotten high on the Solve for Why stream with Dean
Right.
Eggs and Doug Polk. But I don't know if Tuck has a bedtime. I've got a very hard bedtime at 10 p.m. But yeah, I think on that stream, probably an hour or two in, I mean, I can't help myself but make fun of the trolls. Like, it's just like something in me is like when people start attacking it's like a switch flips and I'm just gonna come after them and make fun of them. And I actually love it when commentators or people go after those guys because like, man, like they really just deserve it.
Yeah, you can call them nits as well. Just people that want to take and not give and infringe. I always go after nits. You probably remember that from playing at the table with
Sure.
me. If someone's being a fucking nit and trying to seat change and whatnot, the foreman's not going to tell them that's not cool. The dealer's not going to tell them that's not cool. It's up to the players and it's up to the working pros. And so that's always been me. And I've got into it with a ton of new pros who didn't understand. And most of the time they figure it out and we're fine later. I do that with the trolls in the chat as well. A lot of times if you're watching a stream where I'm commentating and I get quiet for a while, I'm fucking typing shh. I just type like shh or like just troll them back. And even like, yeah, like even as busy as I am, which I'm incredibly busy, sometimes if I have to check out of my hotel early before the show, I'll just go to Starbucks and get a giant coffee and then just go in their comments and just troll them back and just tell them like, because I don't know, I like wasting time and also I like standing up to fucking nits.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, the good news is like there's never been any respectable poker player, to the best of my knowledge, that watches a live stream and trolls in the live stream, right? Like it basically is signaling that you've had not much success, especially in the world of poker, and probably not in life either, because I mean, let's like be realistic about it, right? Like I don't know of many successful people that hang out in live streams just making fun of whoever they feel like making fun of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you're not Poopy Pants 22 in there telling me I suck, Brad. It could be you. How
It's
do
my
I know?
alter ego. It's
Is it?
Poopy Pants 22. Yes, that's it.
Yeah. They'll
How
be
did
like,
you know?
they'll be like, you idiot. You said he. The best thing is when they run it twice. Whoever doesn't benefit from running it twice is a stone cold moron. Like that's my favorite thing. But
Yeah.
who knows who the trolls are? There might be some pros out there that are just fucking with me. I'm getting better at not caring, and just I can just like tilt that screen away for a little bit. And it's funny though, it gets everyone. I've commentated with co-owner of the show, Nick Vertucci, and I'm like, great man, I'm gonna have the chat aimed at you, and then I'll call the action and come to you for some color commentary. And an hour into the show, like I'll be feeling great, and he's like ready to break something. He's like, "Here, you look at the fucking chat. It's great, man. It's and I should also say, it's only about 10% of the people in the chat that are maximum that are horrible. They're just horrible. It's misplaced everything, and about 90% are really great for the community of it, and a lot of them are hilarious, just subtly hilarious. Sometimes you have to fight laughing just because you read something that was really funny, and I don't know. It's just trolls, man. I don't know. I'm not sure what to say.
Who on the Hustler live stream these past couple of months? Like who do you enjoy watching play that maybe you didn't previously?
So I really enjoyed this kid who just learned poker. He's in crypto. His name's Wesley. His Twitter is @CryptoApprentice1, and he's a big time crypto influencer, and he's got all the money. He's in his early 20s or mid 20s, and he had just lost, I think, 20 million in crypto, and basically cashed out and waited for it to like bottom out, in his opinion. And while he was doing that, he just walked into the Hustler. I think he had played cards a couple times and just saw the stage, and he saw the glass doors, and basically just walked up there and knocked on and said, "Can I play?" Yeah. And he really didn't know all the rules at the beginning. And he's playing in the fucking Friday game with Garrett and Gall, and he played every single day. And you just obviously his fundamentals were very poor at the beginning, and they're getting better quickly. As much as he wants to put into it, he'll get out of it. But just the amount of gamble he had was very fun to watch.
Come on, man. He comes from the crypto space. Like you guys are nothing. High stakes poker, that ain't nothing.
No, I understand it's all relative, but still, if you're just like jamming 10K in there over and over and rebuying and laughing, I respect that. And it was cool to see that he had no background in this game, but he has this innate talent. So he would make really good plays here and there. So he's one. Let's see. I've been commentating. I know this person's a controversial figure in live stream. I like commentating when Poker Bunny plays. I think she plays very well, and it drives so many fucking people crazy that she plays very well. And I kind of
why do you think that is? She's actually gonna be on the pod in the near future as well.
Why does it drive people crazy? Well, a lot of people are haters of young women like doing well. That's part of it. She has a couple areas of opportunity to be better at the table. She could play faster. She could interact in conversation a little more, and not just about her, not just talking about her thoughts. But man, she's 23 or 4, I don't remember, and will sit down with anyone, and she executes more often than not. And I don't know, I like it just because I don't hate women and I don't hate young people. So just like if it was some old dude doing that, I would respect it too. Some newcomer.
Yeah, that'll be the highlight. You don't hate women and you don't hate young people.
I don't, man.
And you also like old people. So you
I don't hate anyone. The only thing I'm against is nits. People who infringe. Other than that, I'm a fan of everyone. That's just how it's been for a long time.
Well, you mentioned the third rise in our last conversation that you're going to be devoting more time to playing cards.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're playing cards on the Hustler live stream. I don't know exactly what stakes you've been playing leading up to the Hustler live stream, but I know that, you're playing relatively big on stream. How does that feel? How's that going?
So it's an adjustment. Basically most of my career, I was already like a veteran over 10 years ago. I was already trying to get out of poker over 10 years ago. And most of my career was at the 10, 20, 40. That would be like the median stakes, right?
Yep.
And then I've talked about hitting rock bottom in 2017. And since then, I've been trying to go on some sort of run in smaller games, get my confidence back, not really, and this will sound lame, but not really so much in my ability to play poker, but in the deck. I just had a year where I ran so bad that it shook me. It gave me poker PTSD, sort of called it. And so that's what I've been doing, is playing in games where I'm kind of numb to the stakes, 2, 5, 10, mostly in the last 4 or 5 years. And then I would play sometimes 10, 20, 10, 20, 40 occasionally. But yeah, lately I'm playing bigger again, especially when I play on stream, because a 10, 20 game on stream is always 10, 20, 40, and then it becomes 10, 20, 40, 80, sometimes put on the 160, and suddenly you're playing big again. My first time playing on stream, I played a 26K pot. I played several big pots after that. After the show was over, we stayed, and it's definitely an adjustment. I'm still getting reacclimated, but it feels good. And I've only played on stream twice, and the second time I played was just a few days ago on Wednesday. And the game played a little bit smaller, but it was 10, 20, 40. And towards the end of it, I felt fine. And especially after the stream, which will be in my podcast. I don't know when I'll drop it, but after the stream, I felt like me again. I felt like prime me again, shorthanded, super deep, 20K deep, and just flexing my poker muscles of, I know you're light here. I know I'm light. You cannot call this much money. And I was just doing it over and over. And I maybe overdid it because the game ended up breaking, but it just felt fucking good for a little bit, just a few hours after the stream. And both times I played on stream, I lost on stream and got unstuck later. But I'm not being hard on myself for. Sometimes I'm thinking, oh shit, we're about to play a 20K pot. I got one pair, and I haven't done this in a few years, so it's fine. I'm getting more and more used to it. I'll be fine with it soon. And as my financial situation improves, that'll be the big thing. If I can get flush again, then I imagine I'll have no problem with any stakes, and you'll see comfortable me at all times at the table, or most times at the table. But I'm not there yet, and I'm okay with it. I'm totally okay with that. I was out of sorts the first time I played. Second time, a couple of hands I was, where you just are like, whoa, what the fuck? Bright lights. We're playing huge pots here. The guy just jammed. It's gonna, I have one pair, but I think I should call, or yeah. So
well, to be fair, on the first stream, I'm pretty sure the biggest pot that you played was with a 6 and a deuce to the same suit that you 3-bet pre. So
I will speak to that as well, Brad. I know that made you sick.
No, I didn't care. That. I didn't care. I was hoping that you got there, hoping that villain folded. Neither of which happened. I will say I did like skim through, but this is how much I like you as a human. I skimmed through all 6 hours trying to find like the interesting pots, and like there was one where the board double paired and you had queen high.
Yeah, I should have called.
I was like, oh, sweet. Like, this is a good one. He's going to call. And then you folded. And I was like, this motherfucker, how could...
that one was bad. I for sure was out of sorts the first stream. I played better the second stream, no question. Still wasn't, like, comfortable. But let me go back to that 6 deuce of hearts hand. So I was talking, and we can even rewind it further. Your show is called Chasing Poker Greatness. And I've long said that, like, you just can't be that serious at the table. You won't get action. It's not sustainable long term. The games, you will end up only playing with other really good players, and the game's too slow and the rate's too high. You need to have a very fun game. So I've said that forever, and I want to change that to, if you want to play live cash, I think that holds true. If you do want to become the best poker player you can become and play very well, I think that's what tournaments are for. I think that's what those high rollers are for.
Cash is for it too. I mean, you think Garrett's not like giving it away.
He's one of one. He's one of one.
So yeah, he's not one of one. There are other players.
That's why I said he couldn't come up in this world because he wouldn't get. He's already earned his spot. He's a star. He's a streaming star, so that's good. He can play very well. Not that you really just can't play your hardest in poker in general in live cash, and especially on stream, or you're not coming back. And so what's more important?
I mean,
holding the 6 deuce correctly or coming back?
To me, like, it's the mark of a good poker player if they can take the worst of it or do something that is out of line that they know will be long-term good, right? Like, It's a good long-term play. And, like, live pros should know that, right? So, I mean, like you said, playing slow, you should play fast. You should get out of line. You should play hands you're not supposed to. They should go to showdown. You should be unafraid to put the money in.
But you don't need to do that in tournament poker.
No. I'm saying in cash games. I don't think there's anything, like, wrong with that. I mean, be a good loser. No. Like, when you lose, laugh and just be good for the game, right? I think you can play both hard and well and also get out of line, and that's okay. And I think that, like, there are places in the big live game hierarchy for that type of player.
You think so? Those people don't have seats, and even in games off stream.
I mean, I guess Garrett's the only one that gets to sit in the game.
Those other guys have to, like, claw to get a seat. Just in I'm not even talking about on stream. It's just,
well, the world has changed, right? It's been 7 years since I've played live poker in earnest, right? So, like, the whole private scene and the politicking side of it is not a world that I've ever been a part of. And so I don't understand that ecosystem. I think my major point was, like, you can still be good for the game and win money and still play hard, right? And of course, people can enjoy playing with you. That was it.
Yeah, people have to enjoy playing with you. And when you're playing on stream now, you can't afford to be card dead, especially your first time playing on stream. I hadn't played a pot. I hadn't entered a pot in 40 minutes, and no one would ever accuse me of being a type player. It was just 9-3, jack deuce, over and over. And finally it was, well, cut off open on the button, suited hand that's horrible, but we're deep. And let's see what happens here. And then, of course, 2 other people called, and I made a questionable bet on the flop, but I like it. And I picked up the dream turn card, and
you got there on the turn.
I open-ended with a flush draw, jammed it in there, and he thought and called with top pair. But people are going to fold top pair there a lot, and then run it twice, and you can get there at least once. I didn't, and I was fine with it.
I don't think there's that to me. Again,
I mean, it's a horrible hand. Six deuce is just a horrible hand. We both can agree on that. If it's the only hand of poker I'm ever playing, I'm folding it.
right.
But if I'm trying to earn a spot myself on stream because of how good it can be for everything I do, my podcast, my commentating even, and everything else I do, okay, I've been card dead. I'm playing whatever gets dealt to me right now. And I did that a bunch. I probably overdid it, in fairness. I couldn't get a hand, so I limp re-raised ace-9 offsuit. A lot of it worked. A lot of things worked. But things I would just accept that I'm card dead in a regular game, right? And still be funny and have drinks and whatnot. But on stream, I felt pressure internally to VPIP.
Yeah, you're playing the game within a game. And
Yeah.
again, I think that when you're playing the game within a game, at least, cut off first button, it's like a situation where they're opening wide and like there are, you do have a 6 and a deuce, but like you're not drawing stone dead versus like a cut off flat versus your 3-bet and whatever. Like decent things can happen and it's not the end of the world, right? So again, you play the game within the game, and the game within the game is getting in there, mixing it up with a hand that under normal circumstances you should fold, which I think is, the telltale sign of a pro, right? Like if you're
Right.
in that environment on a live stream and you know what the deal is, then you've got to be entertaining. You have to get in there and mix it up. And that's just the reality. That's why you're there.
Yeah, I think that's not just streaming. It's even more so in a stream game, but just in high stakes live. If you haven't played a hand in 40 minutes, you gotta kind of force the action. Of course, you could just be dealt good cards, and then if I'm dealt good cards or a reasonable distribution, I can just fold that one, right? If I'm getting like 8-9 suited and whatnot here and there, I'm just not getting anything. So the second time, interestingly enough, the second time I played, I made a big hero call and a big hero fold. And that kind of won over some people. So there's different ways to earn your spot when you're playing on stream. I just felt like I should be action, and I'm action anyways. I don't care. I always try and bluff. I just bluff more than anyone ever in No Limit Hold'em. But I also, people really responded well to a hero fold I made, and so all that stuff matters. And then next time I play, I don't have to be as spewy. I can be a little more calculated in my spew. I can just go for it when it makes more sense to go for it and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be opportunity there, right? To do something that is engaging. And sometimes in poker, like there are just very long periods of time where there's no opportunity and you're just nothing. The stars are not aligning in any single way. And you either force the action or you just don't play any hands for, however long it takes, right?
In a world where a fish donk bets the flop and you don't know what to do, one man
Coach Brad Wilson
has a surefire plan to neutralize flop leads and rip that dunk to shreds. Nuffle. Available now. Go to chasingpokergreatness.com/Nuffle. Rated R.
Moving forward, after these couple of streams, I assume, now you're going to be playing on stream more often, more commentating. What does the near future look like for you?
So starting in 2 days, on Monday, I will be starting a 5-5-10 no limit game at the Hustler, just for the Hustler at 11 a.m. And then I will be playing on stream 10, 20, 40 usually at night. That's Mondays. And then Tuesday, I'll be starting 10, 20 no limit for the Hustler in the morning, playing for 5 hours, taking a quick break, commentating for 5 hours. On the Tuesday game, which is this crazy anti-game, I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a great structure. It's 5-5. The blinds are 5-5, and there's a $100 big blind ante, and it plays like a 5,100 game easily in size. And then Wednesday, I'm also going to be starting games in the morning and putting in a session and then taking a quick break. And then I'll be commentating what will likely be 25-50 most Wednesdays. And then leave LA, head back down to San Diego to get all my content together and be a dad for the next few days, and then go back up Monday morning and do it again.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a lot of time to be in the lab hitting the books.
No.
Pretty busy life you got.
Yeah, I think you hadn't hit record yet, but I said last time we spoke I was going to have more balance in my life this year and more time to work on my game and prepare for sessions. And it's just been the opposite. I have less time to do that, and I'm okay with that. If my life ever slows down and I get opportunity to play really big and I have time to like do all the things you need to do to play your best, including exercise and study and all that, I may. But right now I'm happy with being this content creator and using just my experience to spew around and still be a winning player, and it's all good. It's all going in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about this the other night, like mapping out my vision for, Chasing Poker Greatness, the podcast, my CFP operation, just coaching, just really everything, and figuring out like what the future holds, and realize like, man, a year ago I felt like I was covered up, and now I feel like I'm covered up, and I just have this endless list of things that I need to do. Have to like feed the podcast beast, have to interact in my community, have to lead this group of human beings that are in my Coaching for Profits operation, and just kind of had this realization that like I don't want it any other way. It's I don't know if you've ever played games like Diablo or Path of Exile that are just like dungeon crawlers, hack and slash. You get loot, you upgrade your stuff. And I remember playing those games and thinking like when I'm in the dungeon, right? Like when I'm killing all the monsters, thinking like, man, I can't wait to get to the next dungeon so that I can like upgrade my gear. Man, I can't wait to get out of this dungeon. And then eventually having the realization that like slaying the monsters, being in the dungeon, being in action is actually the most fun part of this whole process, right? Like this thing.
I think what you're saying is it's about the journey rather than the finish.
It's about the journey, right? Like just this daily grind of hacking and slashing and getting all these things done. I've realized like I want that. I think at this stage of my life, I need that. And I wouldn't know what to do with myself if I didn't have, a new dungeon to enter to try to upgrade everything that I'm doing.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think I would be okay working less, but I get what you're saying. I'm already thinking about next year because I just set my podcast up for a year, and the way I set it up this year is just so time consuming. I'm already thinking about next year. How could I actually have time to live my life and not just work and not just grind? But I understand what you're saying too. A lot of people need that grind, and I'm a little bit older than you. I'm ready to have like some fun in my life, and I really want to do something that's not going to make me any money, and I want to coach basketball. I want to coach my kids again. I love it so much, and obviously I'm not going to make any money, but what I get from it is just incredible. I've documented that in my poker podcast, and I see now all these kids that I coached when they were really young are a little bit older, and so many of them stuck with it. And I feel like some of it had to do with my connection with them, with getting them to be, achieve, putting them in the right spots and having success and whatnot. So I understand a lot of people need to grind.
Well,
and I'm ready to grind a little less, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And I don't want to kind of get, I don't want to kind of twist like my sentiment here. I do have fun doing what I do. And I think that's the thing that I've realized is like these conversations to me, this is fun, right? Like I
This is
enjoy
fun.
doing this, right?
Yeah.
We have with two of my guys, John and Shu. John is my Tactical Tuesday co-host, and Shu's now the private coach for CPG. You know, in building up our the coaching for profit, the Wolves program, we spend Tuesdays, we block them off and we call it strategy day, right? And we just spend all day Tuesday grinding and thinking about poker strategy, analyzing data, like bouncing ideas, trying to solve problems. And I've come to look forward to Tuesdays more than all the other days. I'm hanging out with two human beings that I genuinely love, that are my best friends in the world. And we're solving hard problems. And yeah, it's like challenging and difficult, but man, it's fun. And like reaching the end of that means that like we're not going to be doing that on Tuesdays anymore, you know? And I'm a realist as a human being. We have these different seasons and phases of our life and things change. But right now, like I love doing it. I love having these conversations. I love coaching the Wolves. I genuinely do. Watching somebody like progress rapidly as a poker player, man, that's fulfilling and really, really fun to me. But it is also time consuming and it is difficult and challenging. But yeah, I think for me, that is the fun, right? Like maybe there will be
That's fun.
more fun down the road where I can let loose and doesn't have anything to do with like business building or anything like that. But for now, these are the things that I think are fun.
Yeah, there's something actually romantic about being on the grind as hard as you and I are. Like I just dropped off my kids and it's Saturday night and I know I had this interview with you and then I need to review and record two pods. And I'm looking forward to like having my shirt off, having it be dark and just really, really fucking delivering some good content. And then I'm
You
gonna
record in the nude? Is that what you said?
um yeah, absolutely. No, I usually wear shorts, but I will if you want me to.
Yeah, go for it, man. I want to imagine you just sitting in the nude in a dark room
No, but
recording a podcast.
I like the connection. I like the rawness of when you're in a dark room, you got your shirt off and like it's fucking Saturday night and people are at bars or whatever. You're not, you're fucking grinding. You got your notes that you wrote and then you reviewed and you thought about and you hit record and you start telling a story and you go back in your mind to whatever session it was or whatever day it was in your life. And you just get lost for about an hour and it's just fucking raw and it has, you know, it has technical issues. You say and whatever a decent amount and use the wrong word here or there, but it doesn't matter. It's just so fucking raw that when you're done, you feel alive and you know that when you put it out there, it's gonna resonate with some people and fucking make them feel alive. I love that part. But so then it's going to be midnight and I'm still going to be working on something. And then it's going to be 2 a.m. and I'm going to be like, fuck, man, when am I going to get a night to just go have fun? And so, yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
You know, I've thought about this quite a bit too, because like for me with these conversations and most all the conversations that I have on the pod, right? Like I love them. I cherish them. I would have them off air. I wouldn't, they don't need to be recorded, but I guess why does the story, why does the journey, these memories that you have of these, like these sessions, these characters, this narrative that you're telling, why does it resonate with you so much? And you feel this pull to, share this bit of your awareness with the rest of the world?
So wait, say that again. Why does it
Basically, like, why do these stories resonate with you so much that you feel so compelled to share them?
So there's no conscious reason that my podcast became a life story. Just like my thread on 2+2 that was famous until I had it removed. It started as a poker story. I just wanted to give something back to people and kind of educate. You can make money in live poker by playing your B minus game, you're going to make more money playing your B minus than your A plus, because no one's going to want to play against your fucking A plus, and they're going to love your B minus, which means you're going to be having fun. So I just wanted, and then it just became this kind of epic thread where I started to talk about my life. I needed to, man. I needed therapy. I had no idea I needed it. And it just, for a few years, was in the form of writing on this fucking weird internet forum. And then I started a podcast, and that was a mental health one. And that felt good, helping other people. My friend who's a psychiatrist and I at least saved one life. That made it all worth it. And then once I started this, I thought it was just going to be my sessions. I had no plans for my podcast sessions. And then, like I said, about a year into it, I was just sick of poker. I was just running horrible. And I just told the story of my daughter's 3rd and 4th grade basketball team, their championship run. And I was their coach, and I wound up these girls, and like we played against tougher teams and we fucking destroyed them. And I was kind of misplacing my anger with variance on the rest of the league. And anyways, there's just something I felt like doing. It was all organic. And that's when people said, man, when you just are feeling what you're talking about, that's the shit. You're a podcaster. And from then on, I knew that anytime I could get passionate about something, sometimes it's a poker hand, sometimes it's like a really sick read, or just really having the heart to go for it when everything's going wrong. A lot of times it's something interesting that happens on a human level at the table. And just knowing that so many people listen like regularly, 3 times, 4 times a week to my podcast, I know who I'm speaking to. And I don't know. It's because it's just relatable. I'm no one special. My journey's not that special. It's unique. Not that many people have been submerged in the poker world as long as I have. Not many people have been flushed twice and are trying to do it a 3rd time, but older with kids and alimony and all this shit. But I think it's just, I know that when I'm locked and I'm going back in my memory and just telling a story, even if it's trivial shit that happens, it's comforting to people. It's solidarity, and that feels good.
Yeah, I think what you said there, the passion, people respond to passion. Always, people buy passion, people respond to passion. They can tell when somebody's full of shit. They can tell when somebody's authentic, and when somebody really loves something or really cares about something. In the podcasting space specifically, which I don't know if you did this intuitively or not, but it is a very intimate medium where you're speaking directly to someone, and there's only your voice, right? And so these relationships, people have relationships with the people that they listen to regularly on podcasts. It's just, that's the way that it works, because that's what the medium is really great for. So you kind of intuitively chose the best medium. I mean, you said earlier, you had your vlog, which was, you like in a dark closet, I guess, just speaking.
No, it was a blog, man. I mixed up the words. A fucking blog. Are you old enough to remember those things?
I remember.
Where you just write and like 3 people in the world read it?
Yeah, like MySpace. What were the other ones? There were some like other popular blogs back in the day that I'm blanking on, that I can't remember. But I remember when blogs became a word. It wasn't even like a word before like sometime in the late 90s. I don't remember it well because I'm getting older and my memory is a little bit faulty in my teenage years. But yeah, man, it's good. I think that like, you enjoy telling stories, you're passionate about it. And I also think you're passionate about helping people and making people's lives better in any way that you can. I think that's something that drives you. Else, why would you keep making content? Why would you have a podcast? Why would you feel compelled to even write a 2+2 post in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that pure anymore. I wrote on 2+2 all the time when I had plenty of money. And for sure, it's me wanting to keep my kids in their situation, in their very privileged situation, which they didn't need, but they had before I got any clue in life, and I didn't want to disrupt it when I started getting a clue in life. So, and then I also want to like come up financially and my podcast does well financially, I literally get a raise every single month since I started a Patreon page in April of 2018, I think it was, or no, I'm sorry, April of 2019. And it's over 5K now. And I'm providing value. I have almost 1,000 hours of fucking spew. It's bedtime stories. It's going for a walk story. It's so it's that's the passion where you get it, but also I know this is my way out. I don't have the patience to sit at a poker table and grind and fold and like I don't and be fake and all. I don't have that anymore. I want to be at a poker table having fun and using it for content and also to show people that you can win and goof around. And that's what I do when I play on stream.
Well, they don't have to be mutually exclusive, right? You can do the thing you're passionate about and pay your way through life at the same time. I think that's just like, it makes a lot of sense. And speaking of, I've been one of your patrons now for, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years. I have no idea how long it goes. I just get
best
charged.
Money you ever spent.
Actually, you sent me money last year. I don't even know. Like I think I broke even last year. You're like, hey, you won some money, and I don't even know what I won it for. But I was like, all right, man, you want to send me the money? I guess send me the money. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I know Billy's out there in the world doing good things, helping people. It's like it's an honor to send you my whatever $14 or $18 a month, however much it is, and then somehow it gets sent back to me. I still don't really know what happened there.
Let me explain how it gets sent back. Well, thank you, first of all. And it means a lot when anyone signs up, and there are different tiers. $4.20 a month is the lowest one. And that means a ton to me when anyone does. When peers do it, it obviously is a little extra special. And then, so you're at a higher tier, and your tier gets a free roll in the World Series of Poker main event every year. And that's what happened. You had a tiny piece of someone who won their way through the home games we have in the community that I've built that has no rake. No one takes any rake. It just goes all back to the players. And so you had a piece of Check Race Charles, if you know who that is. He played the main event, and he got not min cash, but the next one up. And so everyone at that tier got a little piece, and it basically paid for their Patreonage for that year. And if he had won it, you would have come up. You would have like made good money because you had whatever percent of him, right? And I don't know, he cashed for, so what did he get, like 20K or 17K, whatever. Say he got like, if he won it, you would have got, everyone would have got a lot. So that's how that happened.
Yeah, I think it was like $200, something like that. Which basically paid for my year of sponsoring you, which to me was like, at first I was like, I don't really, I feel bad, I almost said, man, like, it's fine, it's cool, just keep it. But then I realized, like, you know what, I guess like this is Billy's way of like blessing the people who have helped him out and him giving back. And apparently it's built into the fine print, which I never looked at. I never even looked at the fine print in the first place. But it was really cool. And I can't suggest to the CPG listener enough to support content creators where you can, because in this world, the poker world, we've kind of alluded to it in this episode, right? Of like, you can play poker for a living. Live poker is a different world than it used to be. You have to politic. You have to do things now that I did not have to do back in the day. Right. And it's difficult. And as it relates to the content space, you've been making stuff for 4 or 5 years before somebody threw you a lifeline, right? Before you had outside assistance that really helped greatly what you were doing and elevated it. So we're all out here trying to do the best that we can, and we have to support the other content creators, because God knows the poker world at large, the poker platforms, generally the casinos, nobody's out here facilitating and helping people. They do it because they love it. They do it because they're passionate about it, and they don't do it to get rich. To the CPG listener, if you want to support Mr. DGAF, please visit his Patreon. What's the website there?
It's patreon.com/DGAF poker player.
There you go. And we'll put that in the show notes as well so that you can click through.
I appreciate that. So let me just say that I said I'm not quite the idealist I was before with regard to anonymity. I won't say that I don't think I'm anyone special. I know I'm no one special, but I don't think anyone's special. I think we're all just who we are and about the same, and have good, have bad, and good strengths and weaknesses, whatever. But
maybe we're all special, Billy. Maybe
we're all special. Well, however you want to, but we're not. There's like 7 billion of it. None of us matter, man. But if you can do stuff for other people, that's good. Anyways, I remain an idealist in that I don't want to put. I know one thing I can do is provide an escape. When I get locked in, after I'm done with you and I review my notes and whatever, and the sun goes down and it's dark in here, and like I said, my shirt's off and I got a fucking Mountain Dew Zero, and I'm connecting. I know who I'm speaking to into the microphone, and I'm going back. I have notes, but I'm also going back in my mind. So when I'm doing that, when I get locked, which is not always, and my listeners are very patient, but when I do, I know everyone who's listening, as long as they're not busy doing something, they're not thinking about their own shit. They're getting a break from their own shit for 1 hour, and that feels great. That's the escape. And so I don't want to, when the moment they forget about, oh shit, my kid's fucking up in school, my wife kind of hates me, I don't know if my boss is going to give me a raise, whatever it is, the moment they forget about that, that's so healthy to get that break. I don't want to be like, have you thought about getting a new toothbrush that's also a hairbrush? Like, I can't do it. So that's why I went to Patreon, and I know I'm not the only one who does it. A lot of people cut out the advertisers and just say, you want this shit without ads, sign up for a few bucks a month and add value in other ways. And not only do they have endless content, but they also have a community that's pretty amazing called DGAF community. And I talk about that a lot in my content as well.
Yeah, it's on Slack, and I haven't been around very much because I have my own Slack community, man. I have so much to do. I can't be everywhere at once, you know. By the way, this will probably be the last time I ever say this in my life, but like when you were in DGAF mode right there, I felt like Mean Gene Okerlund in the 80s, where Hulk Hogan's, cutting a promo for whatever event he's about to throw down. So yeah, let's I think Mean Gene and the Hulk, we're gonna wrap this one up. You can wait till the sun goes down, take your shirt off, Hulk up.
I'm gonna get fully naked tonight. Per your
Super Hulk up. Yeah,
for sure.
There we go. If the CPG listener at this point in time wants to check more of you out, where can they go? I guess the Hustler live stream may be the best place these days. I don't know. You tell them where you want them to go, Hulk.
So if they want to check out the podcast, it's just called Sessions, DGAF. You can search DGAF or Sessions. Should be the first thing that pops up. It's a dragon. For my nickname, Dragon Man. That's the design this year, and the design.
What happened to the train?
That was season 3, man. We're in season 5.
Oh, wow.
This View Train was season 3. So I like to come up with a different theme and different intro and outro and all that. So if they want to hear the pod, they can. And I keep some stuff public and most of it's private. And then they can also check out Hustler Casino Live on YouTube. It's just phenomenal entertainment, and I'm lucky as hell to be a part of it, to be on that rocket ship. It hasn't been in existence for a year yet, and it has, I think, about 100,000 subscribers already, and it's just unbelievable picture quality, sound quality, and like I said, people like Dave Tuckman working on the show, and Garrett Allenstein playing, and also these other characters you wouldn't know, but yeah, you can find me there. You probably would get sick of me if you both watch that show and listen to my pod, but whatever.
Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. And one can make the argument, you've been preparing for quite a while for the opportunity, and the opportunity was somewhat inevitable. Like you said, as long as you stay alive long enough, I think the opportunity would be inevitable. But it's great, seeing all the good things. Wish many, 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 many more good things upon you in the upcoming year. And we'll have you on, who knows, sooner rather than later, I'll assume.
Thanks a lot, Brad. I wish you the best as well. And I know things are on a similar trajectory in your career right now, and that makes me equally as happy.
It's great. Great stuff, man. Peace out.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to Chasing Poker Greatness. You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts or on your favorite podcast app. Go to chasingpokergreatness.com to get the newsletter. Join the Greatness Village community, book a coaching session, or dive into the latest data-driven poker courses. Follow the show on Twitter @CPG Podcast.